The only thing that would have made that better is if you came in just at that last little bit of the crescendo. Yeah. So welcome everybody to another Wednesday 12 o'clock show with Mayor Joe. Joining me today is Reynoldsburg City Councilwoman Kristin Bryant. Welcome. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you, Joe.
We've got a jammed-packed show the week before Halloween, which, as most of you know by now, is my favorite holiday, and we'll have some more news on that as we go through. I just want to kind of get everybody updated. Our round 2 for the CARES Act is complete. We did get a lot of submissions the last day. Everybody waiting to turn in their homework at the last possible minute. So we're going to kind of go through that. So far, we've given about $138,000 out in Small Business CARES Grant, which is great. And so we have plenty of opportunity to give some more out. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, you'll start seeing additional businesses receiving their checks. We actually went out earlier today to do one, so you'll see that on social media a little bit later. We do have our usual code enforcement updates. So I know code enforcement is something that we've talked about a number of times. I think you actually spearheaded making sure that we had additional code enforcers here in the city of Reynoldsburg. So that's been helpful. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But here's a few things just to kind of give you an idea. So we've got some residential areas right here. So you kind of see this house right there. It's just a little bit, needs a little tender, loving care. And so after code enforcement kind of comes by and talks to you about it, you've got a little bit more of a clean, crisp look on everything. This is another residence that you can kind of see here that's just needs a little landscaping kind of technique and clear off the sidewalk and the stoop there. And so when you see this, now all of a sudden, you know, you can definitely see a difference in everything at this particular residence. A little overgrown grass and some wood that needs some replacements. And so they decided to do a brand new deck, and it actually, a brand new front porch actually looks amazing. So that is just, again, some of the other examples that are out there. Let's see here. And last but not least, I think we'll go ahead and show this one. Again, just a different angle of that house. Again, the overgrown trees and things of that nature. And then ultimately when it's done, again, you see just kind of a new, fresh, clean look all the way across. So those are a few things that our code enforcement has done. Just to kind of give you an update, we actually have had, I'm not trying to brag, but it's just kind of giving you an idea. We have had more businesses cited into our mayor's court just this year than in the last 4 years combined. And what you hopefully what you're seeing out there in Reynoldsburg is you're seeing businesses taking care of some of the things that they've needed to, that they're investing in their own properties, they're maintaining them, whether that's with new asphalt, if they're doing some painting, some molding, any number of different types of things. And I appreciate council's support on this because obviously it is something that's important, but I think it's an investment in the city as well. So I'm happy that we have our kind of COVID update on that one. So we do have a couple of events. We have the first annual Mulligan Golf Classic that's going on right now. The Heart Food Pantry and the Reynoldsburg Education Foundation is having their little event at Cumberland Trails. It started on Monday, the 19th, and we'll go through this Friday. The cost is $90 for 18 holes of golf, a golf cart, and a sandwich. And I went yesterday. Many bad things happened. Sorry to the property owners. Sure, there's insurance for windows and things like that. But you were warned. Yeah, we have no pictures because really the Halloween is next week and it's scary enough as it is. But I appreciate being able to have the opportunity to go out yesterday. I was looking to try and go this on Friday, but some things came up, so I had to work the schedule around. But I wanted to be able to support Heart Food Pantry and the Reynoldsburg Education Foundation and embarrass myself in front of my friends at the same time. And what better way to do that than to play golf?
Absolutely.
While we're on the subject, for some reason, people think that it's just 18 holes of golf and, you're supposed to get the lowest score. I really feel that you want to get your money's worth on something like this. And so I felt that the amount of swings that I took yesterday, I think I really, 36 holes of golf is really what I played yesterday. I think that's kind of what I was going for. So yeah, good luck for everybody else out there. I'm sure you're a better golfer than I am. We do have another fun event coming up next week. It is Halloween week here at City Hall, so we're going to be doing a couple of fun things. I know I'll probably be in costume every single day. I'm not asking everyone here at City Hall to do the same, but obviously Wednesday will be a big day. I will be in costume a little bit on Monday night for our council meeting as well. And then Friday, we're actually having a competition here at City Hall. We're going to be giving out an award for best costume, and we're also going to have best group costume. So we're going to have some individual awards, and we're going to have one for the group activity. A lot of this is not every day is wonderful here at City Hall in terms of, we deal with a lot of things that's stressful, but this is going to be a little bit of fun. We kind of some team building, an activity, and it's my favorite holiday, so everyone can dress up. Just a special note to a few people in our Parks and Rec department: no, referee is not a costume, and to my assistant, no, a New York Giants fan with a Lawrence Taylor jersey is also not a costume. Those are things that people have in other day of life, so again, we're kind of looking for some more fun. I'm sure you'll see some pictures about everybody for next week with the Halloween costumes, but we also have some other things going on as well. We have the Reynoldsburg Community Association virtual contest for Halloween decorations as well as your animals. So please make sure you get those in. You can find them on the Reynoldsburg Community Association page on Facebook, or you can put them on our Facebook page at the city government page and have that out. I did have my moment last night. I could barely see all of it, but you have the inflatable ectomobile from Ghostbusters out in my yard with the big spider web and a couple of Slimers and some other lights and things like that. It's a lot of fun. A lot of staff here has taken the liberty of doing some decorating on the second floor at City Hall as well. So again, just trying to bring into the spirit of things. We also have Trunk or Treat this weekend at Civic Park, starting at 3 p.m. till probably about 6 p.m. or whenever the candy runs out. Have a number of great sponsors that are coming in, so special thanks again to the Reynoldsburg Community Association for putting that on. Make sure that you are out there. We're going to have some great trunk or treat decorations. I know the city is looking forward to decorating some things on Friday for that to get ready for Saturday afternoon. It's supposed to be good weather all the way around, which is nice. A couple other things, kind of looking forward to a few things. We are in the process right now of working on our Christmas on the Town, so that is still going to go on. We'll have some more information on that as it goes along, as well as the tree lighting ceremony. So we're going to do it a little bit differently this year. We're probably going to head out over to Huber Park in the Senior Center to do our tree lighting this year. Give us a little bit more space, a little bit more for people to kind of spread out, especially with social distancing. So we're going to go ahead and do that for the tree lighting ceremony. And again, you'll see some details on that, but we're trying to find ways to, again, bring some of those activities back into the city so we can kind of gather and enjoy the holiday season. And most importantly, to everybody out there, the Tomato Festival planning is already underway. You're going to see some things in the next couple of days about our first volunteer meeting. So if you would like to help the city of Reynoldsburg out and volunteer, either the blood, sweat, and tears, or some ideas for what to do with the 2021 Tomato Festival, I think that would be great. It would be a wonderful thing. I know that I've volunteered the last few years, so it's a worthwhile way to get involved in the community, and it's a lot of fun, and we're really going to try and knock it out of the park again in 2021, a little bit to make up for this past year with the cancellation. So we're looking forward to all of those big activities, so I hope you're able to join us. Now, moving beyond that, Kristin, you and I have known each other for a number of years, and it's definitely been a different kind of year in 2020. So how have you been dealing with COVID and just your life, and then obviously what you do as an attorney? How is this all working out for you?
It's definitely been a real adventure. I have not been down to the county jail since COVID hit, mostly out of my own paranoia. They've referred to jails and prisons as nursing homes with bars. So it's definitely ravaged a number of our prisons to the point where they had refrigerated trucks waiting for bodies, which is disturbing. I have been able to get some people out of prison that had underlying medical conditions that were nonviolent offenders, so that they wouldn't be, potentially subjected to a death sentence over a nonviolent crime. On a personal level, I haven't done a whole bunch. I go to work, I come home, do what I need to do, but try to avoid any unnecessary risks.
Now, I know one cool thing that you've done, and if you're on Facebook and you follow, you probably have seen it. You've helped organize food trucks coming into your community. So tell me a little bit about why did you just, other than probably just wanting some good food?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Mhm.
food. Um, I have a couple of friends that have food trucks, and they were struggling.
Mhm.
And I think in general, everybody's morale was struggling. And so I talked to the management and said, hey, can we start bringing in some food trucks? It helps the small business, it helps the morale of the residents, and it also allows, it's not restricted to just the residents. Anybody can come up and order. We had Mikey's late night slice last night. Which
Slice. That's what I was doing a lot. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, my bad. Go ahead. Go
Yes.
ahead. Yeah.
I do that as well. I end up in the water more than anything, though.
Let's not talk about that.
The last time I golfed, I had to stop at hole 6 because I ran out of balls. They were all in the water.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not a good golfing partner.
So needless to say, neither one of
Yeah.
us should be your partner on any golf outing whatsoever, unless you just want the comic relief.
Yes, that would probably work. But yeah, it's been helpful for some of those small businesses to have an extra place to go. And it also allows them to branch into Reynoldsburg because, we had one truck that came over and they'd never been out here for literally anything. And so, it was an opportunity for them to come out, and, people in the area that don't ordinarily see them because they're usually out in Dublin and Hilliard, gave people an opportunity to try their food. And I think it's been good for the small businesses, or I hope anyway.
Yeah, I think anything that we can do with that is good. I know that I've had an opportunity to come out a couple of times too. My favorite one is, and I can never remember the name of it, the cheesecake.
Sweet cheese.
Sweet cheese. Oh my goodness gracious. Hopefully I think they're coming Sunday, right?
Yeah.
There's an event on Sunday, but
yeah, Sweet Cheese and Betty's Kitchen, they'll be out near the intersection of Bryce and Livingston, close to the French Bakery, this Sunday afternoon. We also have Zachy Grill coming Friday out to Indian Creek. So it's usually Tuesdays and Fridays, and as it gets colder, it'll just be Fridays. But people can find the schedule on Street Food Finder. It's a website and it's also an app, so they have that coming up.
all right. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Now, as far as life as a city councilwoman,
Yes.
I know you've been on council a little bit longer than we've had Councilwoman Meredith Lawson Rowe and Councilwoman Strickland on, and they're still kind of learning what it's all about, just being a few months in. But you've been on council for a couple of years now. What's life been like? What's changed? What do what gets you up in the morning enjoying being a councilwoman?
Well, foremost, I love this city. This is home. I grew up in a small town. Everybody knew everybody, and I didn't have that experience anywhere else. When I went to college, when I went to law school, when I moved to Central Ohio, it wasn't until I actually moved into Reynoldsburg that I felt like I had a home again. And I think a little bit something about that as being somebody that bounced from town to town.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. So I think a feeling of home is important. Feeling like you're involved in the community is very important. And I tell people that I'm always going to listen. I may not be able to tell you what you want to hear, but I'm always going to listen, and I'm always going to make the most conscientious decision that I can when I cast a vote, and try to support the things that are going to make Reynoldsburg move forward and have better opportunities for income tax growth, which it's what makes the world go round here at City Hall. So we need the jobs to support that income tax base. And when I first came in on council, we had issue 11 for the Y. That was going on, that had just passed the same year that I was elected. And I think the people spoke volumes. We want to have a better community. If not, we never would have passed that levy. And, it's obviously not just the why, but the roads. We're seeing some improvement with our roads. And, when you have roads neglected for decades, Rome's not built in a day. So, I know there's a number of people that are curious as to when is my road going to be fixed? When are the potholes in my road going away? That sort of thing. And we are working out a schedule for when these roads will be fixed. So, always you can call in to City Hall and, request to find out when that road is going to be fixed. I think we've got plans for just about every road in town. If it hasn't been hit yet, it will be.
Yeah,
but
it's never easy to pick.
That is true. It is never easy. I think the areas to the west side of the city, obviously those roads were here long before Taylor Road and some of those developments. I've got a friend that lives off of Taylor Road that bought her house when it was a gravel road. So, we've, come leaps and bounds over the last, 25, 30 years. And we've had, while we've had growth, we've also had decline. And a lot of that decline has come in the infrastructure. It's definitely a challenge. The apartment complexes are although I am a renter, apartment complexes are just a real hotbed of problems for maintenance. I tell the people that manage Indian Creek, if we could have every complex in town maintain their property at that standard, this would be a beautiful city. But individual property owners, corporate property owners, that's why it's important to me that we, look at code enforcement, because everything comes together. When you've got somebody that's never been to Reynoldsburg, comes to town to see you, and they want to know what is Reynoldsburg all about, and you want to show them around. Well, it's kind of challenging whenever you're dipping your car into potholes and whatnot, and it takes time. And I'm really looking forward to having Main Street finished next year. I think we all are. It feels a little bit
overdue.
A little bit overdue, yeah. I remember when they did it back in 2003, I believe was the last time, because my son played for RYF when they had the football down across from the cemetery, and at the time I remember fighting my way down to Main Street to make sure that he was not late and wouldn't have to do push-ups and that sort of thing. So I think we are all going to hate life next summer while the construction is happening. But my goodness, when we get that road finished, it's going to be so much better.
Yeah.
And very excited about the changes that we're going to be making to Wagner Road. To improve safety on Wagner Road. I think we all can agree Wagner Road has challenges, and coordination with the county and Truro, and it's all coming together. We've kind of been told for a while that it just can't be fixed, but here we are, and we're getting ready to move forward on Wagner Road improvements. So I'm very excited to see that happen. We've had some issues with potential development on Wagner Road that have left some people unhappy. And I think by and large, most people objected because of the traffic, because of the potential for, additional danger of extra cars being on the road. And I respect that, and that's why I voted the way I did for those projects. But once this road gets straightened out, we've got sidewalks, we've got safety features that will allow people to travel up and down that road safely. And we're looking at a light at Priestley and Wagner, I believe. And that I think will help quite a bit. So I'm excited about a lot of these. I'm excited about infrastructure.
You can tell you're on city council when that, you're like, yay!
Hey! New roads.
Yeah. Well, I know you kind of touched on a couple
Yeah.
of things. Is there anything that you think is like overall just a big challenge to the city of Reynoldsburg? Something that obviously I need to pay attention to, the council needs to, and members of our community do as well. Was there anything that you think that maybe you've already touched on a few of those things?
Well, I think overall, I think there's an overall concern about. We've had a lot of crime in Columbus. This has been a record-breaking year in Columbus for their crime. Sometimes we tend to get some of that floating into Reynoldsburg. Some of it drives into Reynoldsburg and gets caught in Reynoldsburg. Sometimes it's just. I think that just everybody should be on their toes. Be aware of your surroundings. This is a tricky time right now between the pandemic. We've had civil unrest for a number of reasons. Most notably, racial injustice and problems between. Society and the police force at large. I think we've done a pretty good job here in Reynoldsburg, keeping things as normal as we can. And I tip my hat to you coming into a new job and taking over as the world kind of collapses around us. I can't imagine, having to be in that position, but I really think that everybody here at City Hall has banded together and they've worked really hard through this. I'm grateful to all of our city employees, our police, our roads, our EMS and fire with Turo, all our first responders, the people that work retail in the grocery stores, our healthcare workers. I mean, we've got a very diverse city, and all of those professions are represented right here in Reynoldsburg. And so just the mixture that we have, I think, has allowed us to, by and large, stay healthy, stay safe. It's been a challenging time for everybody.
Most assuredly. Those are all the questions I have, and now everybody's favorite part. If we have any questions submitted by our audience.
I do. Sarah Reed is wanting to know, how big does your neighborhood have to be to get those food trucks to come in there?
Sarah, it depends on the truck. If you want to shoot me a message, I'm happy to work with you. Most of the time, aside from the people that I know personally, if you look at the Central Ohio Food Truck Association, they're very helpful with that. Some people, some trucks, they want a guarantee of a certain number of people, but there's enough of them out there that, if you had a small gathering of probably 20 to 30, if even 15 maybe, just kind of depends on the truck and, where they're willing to go.
That's all we have at this time.
Oh, wow, that was easy.
Yeah.
Don't worry, they'll come eventually.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they will. They probably want to know more about our golf games.
Probably not.
No?
No, I think they've heard.
Sure?
I think they've heard the horror
You
story.
sure?
Enough.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Well, I'd like for you to stick around if you had some time. Got a couple other things to kind of go over. I had the opportunity over the last couple of weeks to be invited to a couple of different organizations to speak. I was able to speak for the Reynoldsburg Civic Association about 2 weeks ago, and had a chance to sit down with some of the women in Reynoldsburg talking about where we're at in development and what's coming. And yesterday, actually, I had the opportunity to speak to the Reynoldsburg Pickerington Rotary. So thank you to both of those organizations for asking me to come out and speak. We have Cub Scout groups that have come in. We met over at Memorial Plaza a couple of weeks ago, and we have another group coming in to actually tour City Hall this week on tomorrow night. Some Girl Scouts are coming in. Some 7th graders from Reynoldsburg City Schools are going to come in, and I know that councilwomen have been invited, and I know we're going to have our a new deputy chief going to be there as well to kind of talk a little bit about what life is like at City Hall and the great role models that we have here as far as our female staff members. But anytime that you would like me to come out, I know I offered recently to speak in front of a homeowners association. They had some questions about what might be coming down the way as far as development. Happy to talk to them about that. But always able to, happy to talk about those kind of things. We do have a couple of good things going on as well in our Parks and Rec department. Volleyball registration is closed, and I know we're getting ready to start that season up. We've got a skills camp coming up for the 10U, and I think we're actually having teams at 15U, and that'll be in the not too distant future. And for those of you that like to play basketball, I know my son has asked me a lot. The Parks and Rec department is going to be registering people for basketball for this fall. Probably early November is what we're looking at right now. So that we're just getting everything timed together, make sure we have the space available at different schools and things like that. But those are always fun. I did talk about trunk or treat, but we also have the actual trick or treat night next Thursday night. It's going to be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. October is flying fast. So make sure that you are, if you are wanting to participate as a candy distributor, make sure you have your lights on and be ready. If you have gloves, please wear them, and then don't let everyone come in and pick up your candy. Just take your piece or two of candy and put it into the trick-or-treaters' little basket that they have there. That's one of the recommendations from Franklin County Health Department, things of that nature. For those of you wearing costumes, make sure you wear a mask, even if it's underneath your mask. Make sure your parents, after a good collection of tax revenue of their own from the candy, that you give a couple days to make sure that the wrappers have been cleaned off and things of that, just to be on the safe side. If you are not looking to pass out candy, and I know I've actually spoken with a couple of residents who just who love to do it, but because of their age and just because of everything going on, that they just don't feel comfortable. Just make sure you have your lights off during this particular time. No one's going to be upset by it. I think kids will just go through and move on to the next house. And then hopefully next year things will be a little bit more back to normal. So again, for that Halloween night, make sure you get that done. We did finally close out the census, it looks like. They're finishing all their tabulations, and Reynoldsburg ended up at a 77.2%. So we broke that 77% barrier. Thrilled at that. It's a huge increase from 2010. So we're thrilled that we're able to do that. That place down the road off 256, we don't care about them. They weren't even close. Columbus, almost just a little bit under 64%, and we really closed the gap with that state up north. But unlike their football team, we think they got this round. So they ended up at a 71.3%, and the state of Ohio a 70.7%. So there may be some wiggle room here and there between now and as they're kind of just finishing any kind of tabulations, but there's some things out there for that. Didn't know if you knew this. There's an election coming up.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It hasn't really been in the news a lot lately, but there is one out. So do you have a plan to vote? Do you know, or have you already early voted? I don't know.
I already voted.
You already voted?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going on that day. My wife has the day off, and so I think that she and I are going to get up early and do what we've done the last couple of years, is vote the day of. I like the sticker, and then we'll kind of go from there.
They'll still give you a sticker.
I know, but apparently the lines are really long at early vote, from what I've heard.
It's
about a 45-minute wait. I think I've heard.
So.
Yeah.
It's gotten a lot better. Somebody I know went the very first day, first thing in the morning, and I'm like, yeah, you should have talked to me, because I could have told you that's like the worst idea ever. And poor thing ended up standing in line for 3 hours with a bad back. I will say that the Franklin County Early Vote Center, if you have a handicap placard, you can pull into the east side of the building, which is, if you're looking at it, it's to the right. But if you come there with your handicap placard, they will bring out everything you need to your car, and you don't even have to get out. So for those that want to early vote but they don't want to stand in line because of whatever ailments they may have, I strongly recommend that. Just because you got the right ballot, that they're taking the ballot, and that is definitely going to be counted. If you are brave souls that go out to the early vote center, take a chair. They're not going to stop you. Take a lawn chair. Get comfortable. Although I will say, when I have gone out there to talk to some folks and check in with some candidates. That the line is moving relatively quickly. On average, people are getting out in 45 minutes. I did talk to a couple of people who were able to get in and out in 20 minutes. Okay. I think probably, if you avoid the early morning rush and lunch hour, and probably at the end of the day, just try to hit it in the sweet spot in the middle of the morning, in the middle of the afternoon. Yeah. Take a chair and you should be good. And I had some candidates tell me that, it was raining pretty good these last couple of days, and it has not affected the morale or the people standing in line. Everybody has been very excited to cast their vote and be heard. I think that if we could get to a 75% voter turnout this year, I think that's something that we can feel good about as a country, because everybody had to fight for the right to vote except for white male property owners. So if you are not a white male property owner, somebody has fought, somebody has bled, and somebody has died to make sure that you have that right to vote. And like the candidates, don't like the candidates, it is your right as an American, and I consider voting your patriotic duty as an American. We don't have to agree on everything, and nothing has prepared me to see the type of division we have today. Mm-hmm. Even just 3 years ago, coming in as a council member in the minority, I felt that everybody on council was there for the right reason, had their hearts in the right place, did the best that they could to their ability. I think, I really can't say that, anybody that I've seen in office in this town is here for the wrong reason. So I think that's something that our residents should know, and if they do know that, they should be happy about it, because that means they've got people that care. And it was an interesting thing that Molly told me, our clerk of council. She said this is the best attended council she has ever worked for. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, what do you mean? And she's like, you guys are here every time there's a meeting. And I'm like, is there another way to do this? But apparently some of the places that she's worked, maybe half of the people show up half of the time. And that's unfortunate. But, Reynoldsburg, you have people that care about representing you and making this city better. So, like us, don't like us, agree with us, don't agree with us, we are here trying to do the best we can. So
I wholeheartely agree. We're here for the right reasons, and I think at the local level especially, you haven't seen a lot of what you've seen in at the upper levels, and let us keep it kind of that way. So if you have a plan to vote, make sure you follow through with it. You have the early voting centers in Franklin County, Licking County, and Fairfield County. I know Licking County has been pretty consistent. I don't think they have as much of a wait. I think it's more or less just going through the processing in line. I'm not too sure about Fairfield County because I don't have a lot of contact with people that drive out to Lancaster. But if you're in Licking County, again, that's in Newark, and if you're in Franklin County, it's going to be in Columbus off Morse Road. So those are the places there. But make sure you do go out and exercise that right to vote. Our next fireside chat guest is to be, well, first of all, it's going to be Halloween week, so you probably aren't going to recognize him anyway, so I'm not going to tell you who it is. So you're just going to have to guess with that. So that's going to be something that you're going to have to just wait and see. But it is going to be there. I know I am saving one of my hopeful better costumes for next Wednesday. But next Friday is when the big guns come out for that one. So do we have any last second questions coming in?
We do. Charlie Myers would like to know, Kristin, who is your favorite college football team?
Well, God bless you, Charlie. Let's go Mountaineers.
I was gonna say, I figured that was the great, the great toss-up question there to you. So, Thanks, Charlie, for that question.
That's
out
all
there.
the questions
That's
we've
all.
had come in today.
As far as closing remarks, just a couple of quick things. A good friend of mine and a good friend of City Hall and our police department and fire department, April Darling, is going through some tough times right now. So just kind of have her and your thoughts out there. We love you, and we will be there for you whenever you need us. I also want to say some congratulations to my former colleague on the school board in Reynoldsburg, Robert Barga. They have a new child that they welcomed in yesterday. So if you were watching the board meeting and wondering where Robert was, he was attending to more important things. So best wishes to you and mom and the new one in your family. Congratulations. We lots of love to all of you in that regard. So congratulations again. For that, stay safe, stay respectful, and please put your shopping carts away. And when you go trick-or-treating, make sure you say thank you for your candy. Have a great rest of the week, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.